And we're live! Hello all and welcome, and I am the Realist Philosopher, and this is the Realist Philosopher Show. Your window into reality, seen through a lens of truth that filters out all bullshit and mumbo-jumbo nonsense. So how y'all doing today? I hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. So we got some funny shit to talk about today. First, I just wanted to let those of you know who are donating that first, I greatly appreciate your donations. And that second, I am one step closer to getting my subscribe star count opened up. By the way, I don't know what it is about these people, but they take forever. I mean, weeks ago, I thought my account was verified, and then I go and check. Still not verified, so I had to contact them again. They sent me a message. Your account is almost been approved. What the fuck is that? What are you telling me? You almost approved it. Send me a message when it's approved. Yes, it's almost approved. And then I heard nothing back from them. So, it seems to work in a similar way to Patreon, except not as flexible. I'm not sure if you can choose the amount you want to donate. I had to create a bunch of tiers. It's just such a pain in the friggin' ass. I might look into some phone apps, but I don't know if there's any phone apps that allow people to send money internationally and anonymously as well. I mean, there's some in the country I'm in, but I don't think they're useful outside of this country. I'll have to look into that. Anyway, yeah. So, one other thing. I have 3 channels now. Yeah, I have a backup, and I have the other one that is essentially anti-feminist content only. You can find that at therealistphilosopher.com. There's a link at the very top labeled anti-feminism. It'll take you right to my new channel. The backup channel I don't use for anything. It's just there in case. But I'm thinking about opening up another channel, a show that's specifically devoted to relationships. Relationships, dating, and helping both men and women understand the opposite sex better. And who better to give you those lessons than I, brain philosopher who has more than 30 years experience in both philosophy and dating. Holy moly. Yes, I have a lot to offer, and I may just do so. It's something I'm considering, but at the same time, more content. It's a lot of work. In addition to this. Okay, so I'm not sure I want to do that yet. I think it would be popular. Maybe. I mean, it would depend on what I say in it because, you know, Google has these programs that sift through every friggin' word you say, and if it hears the word feminist with something that has been signaled out as being negative, you don't get promoted, you don't get suggested, so I gotta be careful. All right, so what's in the news? What's going on? What kind of crazy shit is going on from the females on the left and the nutty male feminists too? Beta pinheads. Let's see. Of course, Charlize Theron. It would be her, wouldn't it? She's back in the news. Good God, what is it with this woman? Why don't you just get yourself a man, honey? Yeah, you hit the wall, but you're still a good-looking broad. Because, you know, she never had any kids. I think she has 3 kids she adopted. It's a lot easier to keep your figure and stave off the worst effect of the war for as long as possible when you have no frigging kids. Yeah. She is able to have kids, by the way, so I don't know why she didn't. I guess it was for her career. How's that going for you, Charlize? Focusing on your career instead of having a family. How's that working out? Yeah, I bet she's miserable. She's saying, I'm so happy. Yeah, right. Come on. You prioritized an acting career over your own kids. And now she's running around talking about, I need to find a man. What are you talking about? Look around, bitch. They're everywhere. What do you mean you need to find one? Listen to this. Charlize Theron says, I'm looking for a man that can grow a good beard. Bitch, I can grow a fucking lumberjack special, baby, and I wouldn't want you. Get out of here. I might take you as a pump and dump because, you know, you still look pretty good. But a relationship with a rabid feminist like you? Nah. Pass. Such a rabid feminist. She doesn't even want to have her own kids. Yeah, I'm a progressive. Why would I want to have my own kids? There's so many kids out there that need a home and need my help. I should help them. Yeah, don't Don't spread your genes far and wide, right, honey? Don't pass them on, all right? Yeah. So Charlize Theron is ready to begin dating again, and she's keen to find a good human. Wait, what? A good human? Good humor? I'm sorry, what does that say? Good humor or good human? I thought you were talking about a fucking ice cream bar. A good human? There's a good bar. What was the good humor bar? Was that the fucking sandwich one with the ice cream in the middle and the chocolate sandwich bread-like shit on either side? Those were good. Those were good. I didn't like the chocolate bread stuff so much. I used to just lick the sides out and everything. Yeah. So she's looking for a good human who can grow a beard. A good beard. Oh. Human, huh? Don't you mean a man? Because I know Wayman can't grow good beards unless, of course, we're talking about the freak at the local sideshow. Do they have those anymore? I wonder about that. Are there any more of these, like, country circuses that travel around and have the freak and the psychic and the 500-pound Wayman and the strong man? Do those exist anymore? I miss those. I guess they don't. You know the ones I'm talking about that have the shitty little rides and the little fucking roller coaster that's about this high? I remember barfing on one of those when I was 5. I got off that fucking thing. I'm never riding a roller coaster again as I vomited into the fucking trash can. And I never did. I never got the fascination. Could somebody explain this to me? What is the fascination with a fucking roller coaster? You go up, you go down, zoop, zoop in a fucking circle. That's it. You feel nauseous. You get scared. The fuck do I want to make myself feel scared for? I can do that pretty easy by imagining going out with her sleeping with a big fat broad. You want to talk about terror? Woo-hoo-hoo! I got a pretty good imagination. That's as scared as I don't want to be that scared even. Jesus Christ. But if I wanted to scare myself, I could do it absolutely positively for free and not risk death because, you know, the safety standards on some of these fucking old rides ain't so good, you know. You're zipping around and the fucking seatbelt flies off or that little fucking bar holding you down opens up and whoosh! You're flying, baby. Until you're not. And then that's it for you. I never understood. I never understood people liking those things. Just seemed to me like people that were very jaded and didn't get any real joy or pleasure out of life. And they're emotionless people trying to evoke some kind of feeling. Well, I can scare the shit out of myself by getting on a fucking ride that imitates the possibility of dying. Yeah, I remember another fucking ride at Hershey Park or some shit when I was a kid going down a fucking ramp in water and busting my fucking nose. When that thing came to an abrupt stop when it hit the fucking water. No, thank you. No, thank you. I never understood this thrill-seeking bullshit. Let's base jump. How far away is the ground? 300 feet. How long does it take the parachute to open? 200 feet. Gives us like 2 seconds. Yeah. And you might break your femur when you hit the ground too. Why? What is it you're missing in your life that you have to risk death? I never understood that. Find some fucking meaning in your life, you fucking adrenaline junkies. Have some kids or something. I don't know, but jumping off a fucking building and risking death is not my idea of fun. All right, I got off topic there. Anyway, so the 43-year-old, actress previously opened up on being shockingly single. That's bullshit. And by the way, I don't believe any of this. I think she's just talking about this shit because, you know, she wants some free publicity. That's all. She's getting old. Nobody wants to cast her. She's got to keep herself relevant, keep herself in the news. I'm single! Nah, you're probably riding the cock carousel still, even now. Probably some loser mimbo sleeping on her fucking couch and getting up and going fucking surfing the next day because she lives on the beach or some shit. The mother of 2 children. Oh, she's got 2 kids. Oh, neither one of them is hers, by the way. And she adopted them. August and Jackson. Why do people name their kids after months? I mean, how lacking in originality are you? You're August. Okay, I'll name you September. Get an imagination! Admitted that she had since received numerous offers from hopeful fans. What do you expect? And while her search isn't urgent, sure sounded urgent to me, sweetheart, she's open to the possibility of a new romance. Who cares? Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you so I should care that you're open to a romance? So are about 2 billion other broads. Whoop-de-fucking-do. But she has a particular type of man she's looking for. This 43-year-old broad shouldn't be particular about anything. Pulse? That's it. That's about as particular as you should be, honey, okay? He has a pulse. I made a choice to be single, she says. Yeah, oh, women that are single say that. Might actually be the case in this case. I don't want to interfere with my career. Good Lord, being happy? No. I've got to be successful like a man and compete with men, because men just love that. I was raising 2 small children. I have to give my life some meaning. So I, a single woman, am I going to adopt 2 kids? I'm so toxically female, so toxically feminine, I can't find a man. So what should I do? Adopt some kids and be a single woman. Mommy. Yeah. Great idea. Future drug addicts in the making. Yeah, I was raising 2 small children, and that's what I wanted to do. Well, what you want to do, you should be able to do it, because you have a pussy. She told the UK Sun on Sunday. Now I have changed my mind, and I will handle it. She changed her mind. Just out of clear blue. I would have changed the path to my life at 43. I want to have a good time. Oh, my. What are you, horny? Are you horny? You can find Mr. Goodbar at any bar, honey. Charlize, who is starring opposite Seth Rogen. Isn't he a big fat pant load with a beard? In the romantic comedy Long Shot. So, big fat pant load in a comedy with her, romantic comedy, and now she's saying she wants a guy with a beard. This is all just free publicity for her crappy movie. She's not looking for no man. So she shared details about her ideal man. It depends on the guy. No, well, then you don't have an ideal man if it depends on the guy. What? What? It's so strange. Doesn't make any sense. A man that can grow a good beard. I don't want guys who don't grow good beards to grow beards like those patchy ones. I'm not a fan of that. It's good to know that you've matured to the point where your ideal man, the qualities, the virtues that in your mind make an ideal man are centered around beard growth. Because... somebody that had actual virtues and was a good person and who you could love for their virtues. Well, can't have that. I gotta be concerned about his facial hair. Yeah, you're so woke. You're so woke and mature, Charlize. Oh, my God. The Oscar-winning actress added, I'm just looking for a good human. Again, the image of the fucking candy, the ice cream bar's popping into my fucking head. Why is it popping into my fucking head? Good humor bar, good human bar, good human. Could it be that because the way she looks at people is the same way that I would look at a fucking ice cream bar? She's just like judging them based on surface, facile things and the pleasure of the moment and not anything that's deeper and more meaningful. Could that be why I'm thinking of a good humor bar when I see her say the thing like good human? Pinhead. What a pinhead. Charlize was engaged to Sean Penn, but the pair split in 2015. He couldn't handle her ass. Toxic feminist broad. He had to get the hell out of there. He had to get the hell out of there. Even as much of a crazy progressive he is, he couldn't handle her. Prior to that, the stunning brunette. Didn't he support Venezuela? Wasn't Sean Penn one of these nut jobs that thought, Hugo Chavez was great? You called that one real good, didn't you, Sean? You need to stick to acting, pal. Stay out of politics. Ay, ay, ay. Prior to that, the stunning brunette. Stunning. I don't know. Kind of a tiny little rack. The ass is meh. She's no 10. She might have been an 8, 8.5, 9 with a lot of pancake makeup in her prime. But come on. Let's not oversell her, okay? Okay, publication that this is from. I know you want to oversell her because you love her because she's a rabid feminist, but come on. Let's get back down to earth here, all right? Well, they don't live in reality, these journalists, right? These journalists. She was also in a long-term relationship with Irish actor Scott Stewart Townsend from 2002 to 2010. 8 years? Man. And that didn't last either. Wow, she's got a really horrible track record. Jesus Christ. What guy wants this broad? She's got tons of baggage. Tons of baggage. Never had a successful relationship. 43 years old. No kids of her own. What does that say? What does that say about a woman? 43, and instead of having her own kids, and she was in relationships, so she, could have had her own kids, doesn't. What does that say about her? It's very odd. You'd rather adopt other people's bastard children than have your own bastard children. Okay. Earlier this year, her love life hit headlines when rumors began swirling that she was dating Brad Pitt, with insiders saying the pair had grown close after shooting an advert for a watch company. However, a source told People that the duo was never romantically involved. What do you know? What do you know? I'm sure they banged. Come on. Yeah, she had a chance to bang Brad Pitt. Come on. They at least bumped uglies. I'm sorry, but they must have. Okay, so... But they were never dating. Well, I believe that. After dealing with Angelina Jolie, who I believe is the same age, and put him through 2 years of hell, and accused him of abuse, just so she could get the kids. And then she decided at the last minute, before the divorce went through, that I want to give it another try, Brad. Yeah, I'm sure after going through that he'd love to hook up with another 43-year-old single mommy. Yeah, feminist. I don't think so. I think his radar is working well now. That radar that allows you to spot nutty broads that are going to be nothing but trouble. All right, let's move on here. Next story. When old women rape boys. Woo! Cookie news today. It's time to start putting women in prison for raping boys. You're going to get no disagreement from me. A very brave young man came forward to expose Asia Argento as a child rapist. You all remember that, right? This is the broad that, along with, what's her fucking name? That coked out broad, Rose McGowan. Who hit the wall at light speed. They were all over it. Harvey Weinstein's evil. Me too. Oh, it really is me too. In regards to being one of the abusers. And then, of course, all the feminists came out of the woodwork and started making excuses for this Asia Argento broad. She didn't do nothing. Well, due process, reasonable doubt. Meanwhile, Harvey Weinstein, no, burn him, lynch him. We don't need evidence. A Wayman said it, so it's true. I see. I love the double standards. Not surprisingly, some middle-aged incels think that she couldn't have raped him because he's male, and also because any 17-year-old boy who is so horny, would love to be raped by a hot actress. These incels who think and say this are desperate for sex and are unable to comprehend the price of a boy pays when an old woman like Asia Argento rapes him. I agree. A lot of guys out there are super desperate for sex, and they imagine that being raped in such a way would be wonderful. Get the fuck out of here. I think my brother was one of these guys. I think he didn't lose. Oh, I think he was in his 30s. He's a loser. Loser. I think one time he expressed to me some kind of rape fantasy, and I was like, the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you want to be raped? Are you out of your fucking mind? He's like, oh, yeah. And I judged him harshly, but he was like, I think it would be great to be raped by some broad. I'm a pedophile. What a pussy incel he was. God, then he ended up marrying some big fat broad who's probably not giving him sex now. I think she pulled a nice bait and switch on him. Oh, boy. Of course, she was fat when he met her. He was so desperate for sex, though. He would have banged the Michelin Man, okay? If there was a hole there that was accessible. And she looked very much like the Michelin Man, too, by the way. It's an interesting coincidence. Anyway, yeah. So, Asia Argento raped a 17-year-old boy in L.A., shown with her friend and So, this is old. So, I mean, the reason I wanted to talk about this story is not because it's new news, but because there's some figures in here, and I liked some of his views and opinions. I mean, the fact that everybody knows Asia Argento raped that 17-year-old boy, this is old news, but some of the stuff this guy's saying, I wanted you guys to hear. So when Asia raped the boy, she was over twice as old as the boy. She'd apparently groomed him for quite some time. Yeah, they met when he was like a little kid, like 7 years old or something, and she was in a movie with him playing his mother. She plied him with alcohol to further a crime. Contrary to popular opinion, this is not just a rite of passage for boys. It's rape. Yeah, it is. This idea. Women have been doing this for a long time. That's where this idea came from, that it's somehow harmless and boys are just putting notches on their bedposts and they love this stuff. It's spread by women. This idea is spread by women. The first thing to know about boys who are raped by old women is that there's a reason the law protects the boys from old women. Old women such as, I love this guy's nomenclature. Old women such as Asia Argento, when they rape, do every bit as much damage to a boy as an older man does to a girl of the same age. This has become clear from scientific studies. Dr. blah, 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 currently with McGill University, as well as many other experts, have noted that the public perception is that women raping or molesting boys is harmless. Spread by Wayman and gynocentric Wayman culture. However, she goes on to note that women raping boys is often much more traumatic to a boy than men having sex with girls of the same age. There are two reasons that boys suffer more than girls when old women, I love it, old women rape them. 82% of children who report a woman as their rapist or molester are ignored by authorities. Now just imagine that. Imagine if a Wayman went to the cops at age 12 or 13 and said, "Cops, this man diddled me." Get out of here. We don't care. It's like you're being traumatized the second time. But do the cops ever do that? No. They're like, "Oh, somebody diddled you? Get SWAT. Let's go kill his ass. Let's plant a gun on him. Let's find some excuse to blow this sicko away." Well, we don't need evidence. She said she's been raped. Boy comes in. "Get out, boy. You had a good time, I'm sure." First, the boy is less likely to be believed than a girl because of our frenzied stereotypes. Stereotypes which, by the way, the left claim to hate, but only those that work against them. The ones that work in their favor, they love. They absolutely love. They love stereotypes. It's just the stereotypes that don't play into their narrative that they have a problem with. Because of our frenzied stereotypes about rape and child molesting. Dr. Michelle Elliott is perhaps the world expert on female pedophiles. Her research shows that 82% of cases of children reporting a woman as their rapist or child molester, the authorities simply refuse to believe the child. 82%! What are you cops doing? Playing backgammon? Dominoes? In the squad room? You're too busy playing your little fucking card games to get up off your ass and help a boy that's been traumatized? This is very traumatic to a child who has been raped or molested by a woman. For instance, Asia Argento is trying to further her victim's trauma, as most rapists will do, by saying the horny boy jumped me. Because I'm just a weak Wayman. I'm not strong enough. It's amazing how they're strong and independent until they need to be called to task, until they're called to task for their negative behavior. Then it's like, oh, I have no agency. I'm a Wayman, you know. I'm a slave to my emotions. They just take control, and then I have no control of anything. My emotions run wild. I'm just a creature of motion. I'm a wild stag running free. I can't control myself. Yeah. Oh, of course. Second, an old woman who rapes a boy will use emotional manipulation, i.e. grooming, over long periods of time and use alcohol or drugs on the boy. This results in both boys and girls who are raped by women and men to report 100% that the trauma from being raped or molested by the woman was more traumatic than betrayal by a man. Well, people are more likely to believe you from the start if it's a guy, because, we're evil, right? We're all sons of Satan, except, of course, the left doesn't believe in that either. Evil's not a real thing unless it's masculine in nature. Everything's relative until it comes to man. Then masculinity is toxic. Most definitely, 100% objectively. Okay? We know from Dr. Laura Stempel's studies at UCLA Law School that women rape men and boys more often than the other way around. Well, yeah. Sure. Men just don't report it. Research finds sexual victimization perpetrated by women is more common than previously known. We also know from other studies that even absent the extra aggravating factors of women who rape, boys incur just as much or more trauma as girls when raped. Right, because 82% of the time, nobody believes them or gives a fuck. And even if somebody does believe them, they tend to minimize it by saying, well, I'm a guy. Oh, and I put sex on the highest pedestal, and I put women on a high pedestal, and, I'm kind of an incel beta orbiter pussy boy pretending to be a feminist so I can get some bones, so I think it's awesome that you got laid. What are you complaining about? You're not a victim? God. It's time to start putting women in prison for raping boys. I agree. 100%. Is it going to happen? Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. Let's pour myself another cup of Java. I cut my Java. This is about 1/3 weaker than I normally make it. It felt like I was flying a little too fast, a little too close to the sun during my last few live streams. Ooh, man. So maybe this will help. But maybe, then again, maybe it's not enough caffeine. Maybe I should have increased it. We'll see. Forgive me. I have allergies. What do you want? All right. So. Oh, boy. This is something I've never understood. Women want to talk about their periods. Before I move on. The fuck am I moving on for? Got distracted with the fucking coffee and my goddamn stuffed up nose from my allergies. All right. Let's take a look at this Asia Argento. If you don't know what this hoe looks like. Okay. Hoe number 1. I have the picture labeled hoe. Because she's a hoe. And a fucking rapist. Hey, oh, wow. The Asia Argento don't look half bad. She's bangable. I'd bang her. I'm a lot older than she is, though. I think I look better, by the way. I don't have the ability to wear makeup, and I think I look better than she does. And I'm a lot older. But, wow, what the fuck happened to Rose McGowan? Looks like she encountered a head shrinker there in one of those little pygmy tribes. Who is it that the head shrinkers? What the fuck happened to her? She looks kind of like the Joker or something. What the fuck? Holy shit. Cocaine be bad for you, says, well, not her. She seems to love it, apparently. Holy fuck. I mean, damn, wow. She was hot, too. Wasn't she also in that show, Charmed? Along with the nut job, Alyssa Milano? What is it with all these Hollywood broads? They're all nuts. They're all nutty progressives. Pushing wonderful. Raping boys, wonderful. Fuck. Ay, she's hideous. Hideous. What's with the short man? Jesus Christ. That's man hair. So she got man hair. She looks older than me. Oh, my God. Fucking A. What is that she's wearing? Looks like a big giant banana. What the fuck? Don't wear yellow, ladies. It's not a good color. Oh, my Lord. Look at that Asia Argento. Rapist broad. I'm a rabid feminist either. I hate men, but I'm going to be a chameleon and grow my hair long and stay pretty looking so people will have sympathy for me. I'm smart enough not to wear my colors on my sleeve and advertise the fact that I'm a rabid man-hating feminist. I know how to take advantage of my sexuality. Yeah, I bet you too, sweetheart. I bet you too, grooming 7-year-old boys. Oh, you scum. You evil scum, you. Oh, God. If anybody needs to be strung up, it'd be this broad. Oh, I gotta get this picture off here. It's pissing me off. My blood pressure is skyrocketing. My eyes are about to pop out of my fucking head. Get the picture out of here. Serenity now. Serenity now. It does work. Okay, so, moving on. Talking about periods. What is it with you broads want to talk about your period? They're like, oh, it happens every day. No, it doesn't. I mean, it happens once a month for a few days for each particular woman. I guess day by day, yeah. Any particular day, a whole bunch of broads are having their fucking period. But the individual broad herself is not having the period every fucking day. Why do I want to talk about it? By your logic, I should be talking about my dumps. I take 1 or 2 dumps a day, especially all the fucking coffee I drink. You see me talking about taking a dump? How it smelled? How effervescent it was? Whether or not it was soft, stool, or hard? What the fuck? If me, this is from Twitter, some nutty blonde broad talking about periods and how we should be ashamed of our periods and we should talk about our periods all the fucking time because it's taboo and it shouldn't be taboo. Yeah, talking about taking a piss and shit. That shouldn't be taboo either. Only women can do this. I don't understand the logic. So because one sex can do it and not the other, it shouldn't be taboo to talk about or disgusting to talk about. I don't understand the logic. If men had their periods, it would be like fucking celebrated. The fact that she threw like in there before fucking tells me she's not too bright. I'm guessing 85 IQ. She might be smarter than Forrest Gump, but not by much. It would be like a holiday. Don't men overwhelmingly get hemorrhoids? Isn't it like 90% of cases of hemorrhoids or something are men? It's almost entirely men. Colon cancer is almost 100% men. Prostate cancer is definitely 100% men, or damn near. That's 100% men. Do you hear us babbling on and on and on about this shit? My prostate, oh my God, it's such a pain in the ass. Oh, it's bothering me. Oh, it's like a fucking sponge cake. Oh my God. What are you talking about? We have problems that are specifically male, okay? That women don't have. I love how women run around talking about like they're experts on men. Toxically masculine men. We're all experts. I took gender studies in school, motherfucker. We studied men comprehensively. Yeah, you studied propaganda bullshit about men. You don't actually know anything about us. Which is why you can't find a man, and no men want you. Of course, you're a rabid feminist, so you don't give a fuck about what men want, which is why you have short hair. You're a big fat blob. You get tattoos all over you. Fucking nose rings, lip rings, cheek rings. Yeah, okay. It'd be celebrated. It would be like a holiday. Really? What are you talking about? Oh, my hemorrhoids are flaring up. I need to take a week off work. The fuck you talking about? Get back to work or I'll fire your ass. Meanwhile, a wayman says, I'm having a period. Well, let's get the government to pass a law that lets you take off work if you have a period. And that law has been, by the way, passed in some parts of America. Yeah. Oh, tell me about the patriarchy again. I don't see any men getting off work because their hemorrhoids flare up, bitches. Half the population has a period, but no one talks about it. Well, I got one even better for you. Half the population has a period. Why didn't anybody talk about it? Interesting logic. How about the entire population takes a shit every day, but no one talks about it? Your logic is retarded. Yeah, let's talk about disgusting, nasty, bodily functions. As if they were beautiful and wonderful to see and smelled great and weren't a biohazard. The fuck is she talking about? And of course, this is all this female worship, right? Anything and everything that comes out of a woman is somehow divine, right? Meanwhile, everything that comes out of a man is evil and from the devil. The devil! So we can't talk about it. And if we do talk about it, it has to be demonized. Meanwhile, if it comes out of a wayman, it has to be presented as the divine, heavenly. Yeah, fuck off. Talk about periods. When I want to talk about your period, I'll talk about your periods the moment you start addressing the humongous fucking suicide rate among men. Something like 87% of suicides are men. When you start giving a shit about that, I'll start caring about your fucking period. And by the way, I think the fucking suicide is a hell of a lot more serious than you bleeding 2 or 3 times a fucking month. So shut the fuck up, bitches. Period. Fuck you. No, actually, no. I have no interest in fucking you broads, and neither does anybody else, which is why you're so upset. Why doesn't he want me? I've done everything the feminist and the gender studies professor told me to do, but still I can't find a man. I hate men. Men are evil. Yeah, it couldn't be you. Couldn't be you. All right, let's move on. These dopey broads. I want to talk about my periods all day, and I wonder why I can't find a man. Yeah, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. So this next story is emblematic of the wackadoo nuttiness that you're going to run into with leftists, which is what feminists are. They're all cultural Marxists. They're all cultural Marxists with a different label, right? Designed to attack a specific area of society, of intersectionality and identity politics. But they're all cultural Marxism, okay? All cultural Marxism. Listen to this. Oh, my God. How Finland is tackling homelessness. Yeah. You're going to love this. Nordic countries. Bernie just worships the Nordic countries. They're socialist. They're socialist paradises. Even when the president of Finland, comes out and says, hey, pinhead, we're not a socialist country. We're a free market country, you idiot, which is why we can afford all these fucking social programs. And we don't have a fucking military. He didn't say that, but I did. I mean, hell, the U.S. and other countries defend the Nordic countries. These countries don't have their own militaries. Not really, not effectively. Yeah, you want to free up a few $100 million more dollars? Or billions? Don't have a military. Makes it easier. Yeah, geez, let's get rid of the military in America so we can get everybody free housing. It was 7 years ago when Arvo, not his real name, first walked into this building. No pictures, all right. A building. Guy walked into a building. Back then, it was a hostel for homeless men run by the Salvation Army and had a certain reputation. Yeah, you're a little fucking violin playing just for you, Arvo. Arvo can still remember opening the door to his dormitory. Propaganda. There were 3 men sitting on their beds, their faces sullen and melancholy. Yeah, it's a homeless shelter. It's not supposed to be a fucking party. This would be his new home for a while. Yeah, because Arvo's lazy and doesn't want to work. So let's just give him a house. All right, I don't want to spoil it. I think I already did, though, but you could see where this is going anyway without my help. Arvo had been down and out for a while, staying with some of his few remaining friends. Yeah. Imagine what happens when you're a total mooch. It's not like on fucking Seinfeld, okay? First of all, Kramer was a very charming guy. A lot of fun to be around. So, okay, he's going to mooch off me a bit if I can afford it. All right, sure. Most people ain't Kramer. And that was TV. If you're a fucking mooch, you're not going to have very many friends for very long. And occasionally hanging around in public places, stations, and staircases. His ex-wife, oh boy, and their daughter were now just a fading memory. Ooh. Staying at the hostel was better than nothing, but hardly more than that. Today, Arvo is opening another door. Except this time it's to a rental flat of his own. Hear the drum roll. It's still the same building, but it's been converted into independent rental flats. But that cost a lot. I wonder who paid for that. Completely renovated and new. Arvo's living better than me, and I pay rent. The building is well located in the city, and while the flat is not big, it has everything Arvo needs, like a kitchen and a bathroom and an affordable rent. Well, when it's free, that's pretty fucking affordable. That's really affordable. When Arvo moved in, he barely slept the first few nights. He kept expecting someone to come in without knocking on the door, but no one came in. It's now his home, his kingdom. Why don't we just give everybody free housing? To hell with who's going to build it or finance it or pay for it. Let's just be like Ocasio-Cortez. We need to do what's morally right, even if it's not factually right. Since moving in, Arvo seldom drinks anymore. God, seldom. So he's still a lush. He's still drinking, just not as much because his life has gotten a little better, so he doesn't need as much liquor to numb the pain. But he's still a fucking lush. I see. He doesn't want to run the chance of losing his home. Tomorrow is a big day. He has a job interview. Maybe this time he'll be in luck. On the work front, too. He feels hopeful. There are reasons to live and still a future for him. Lush, loser, free house, no incentive to work. How much you want to bet he don't get the job? Arvo is just one of many stories in Alpikatu, a supported housing unit in Helsinki, which now has 81 rental flats for long-term homeless people. Why are you calling them rental flats? We like to dishonestly represent shit. They're not really paying rent. Built in 1936, the building was completely renovated in 2012 at a cost of 9.2 million, what looks like euros. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's a lot of money. Financed by a 50% investment grant from the Housing Finance and Development Center of Finland. Tax dollars. It provides independent apartments. I wonder where the other half came from. I'm sure that was also tax dollars, just a different department. It provides independent apartments, common facilities, and on-site support for tenants. That's got to cost a pretty penny. I wonder how much shit is in the stairwells. Do not install escalators, because for some reason homeless people love to take a dump on escalators, it seems. San Francisco has that problem. All the escalators in all their public buildings, and some of the private ones too, would get gummed up, the internal mechanisms, by shit, because the homeless would just wait until there was nobody on the escalator, and then they would squat down and take a dump, and by the time they got to the top or the bottom, they were done dumping, and just walked away. And they would just watch the shit get sucked into the internal mechanisms. That's disgusting. Jesus Christ. So, it's a kind of flagship, this building, for Finland's new policy to end homelessness. End homelessness. Gee, it's almost as if you could end poverty, too, just by, I don't know, giving people money. Didn't they try that in Finland and it didn't work? That UBI, Universal Basic Income, and they had to stop the program because it was a failure. It illustrates the aspirations in concrete measure. Oh, this is a shame. It's housing. What were the people using the money to pay for? Housing. So you're just using one type of UBI for another. Oh, that's brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah, that won't de-incentivize people to work. Oh, no. It illustrates the aspirations and concrete measures of the national program to end long-term homelessness. Why don't you stop taxing people so much? Why don't you get rid of some of your welfare programs and put more money into people's pockets, and then more people will, I don't know, start businesses that will then provide people jobs, and the people that already have businesses will have more to invest and grow the business, and then that will create even more jobs? No. We can't grow our GDP? No, that won't solve the homeless problem by providing more jobs to people who want to work and incentivizing people to get fucking jobs, and now there's more jobs. Nah, we're going to give them a fallback position, which will essentially be a lifelong fallback position, yeah. Incentivizing homelessness, incentivizing sloth and laziness. Bernie would love this. Okay, so one of this PAVO's program to end long-term homelessness, or for short, PAVO, cornerstones, is a strategy of replacing temporary accommodation with permanent housing based on rental contracts. This has fundamentally changed the structure of services and housing solutions available for homeless people. Yeah, so you're taking the same losers, the same layabouts, the same sloth motherfuckers who essentially don't want to work, who are lazy bum drunks, drug addicts, and don't want to get a job, and you're incentivizing that. You're enabling them. Okay, you don't want to work? You don't feel like working? Okay, we'll give you a house. That's like your kid is yelling and screaming, give me a fucking ice cream, I'm going to break the TV. Here's an ice cream. Well, what's the kid going to do? They're going to yell and scream and break shit whenever they don't get what they want. Oh, that's great. Yeah, let's reward bad behavior, right? Let's reward the kind of behavior we don't want to incentivize. This is so stupid. Ay, ay, ay. In our thinking, people living in temporary shelters and hostels are still homeless. Well, technically, because they don't have a home of their own. But you know what I say to that? So what? If having a home is preferable to not having a home, if having your own home is preferable to sleeping in a big giant dorm with 150 other sweaty, stinky dudes who haven't showered in a month, you know what? I want to keep that system. You know why? Because it's such a shitty environment that it encourages some people to get out of it. Of course, it really doesn't. You know, there's a lot of people in this world who just are, they're totally content with the status quo. Hippie, bum, communist, fucking anarchist, you know, hipster doofus losers who just want to sit around all day and play the fucking guitar or read. They don't give a shit what their environment is, their quality of life. Well, I've got my needs met. I don't really care about the quality. I'm warm. I'm not dead. I have a good book and a bed. That's all I need. Yeah, these kind of people, doesn't matter what you give them. They're not going to try harder. Put them in a fucking homeless shelter. Put them in fucking Shangri-La Hotel. Nothing will change, okay? Oh, I can tell you something will change, because some of these people who might have actually gotten out of homelessness, now they definitely won't. And more people will become homeless because they'll get a free house. Oh, boy, oh, boy. I don't see how they don't see this. I really don't. It's obvious. Only permanent housing can provide a safe, sustainable solution to homelessness and a foundation for a decent life. Wait a second. Isn't this kind of like saying, you know, people really shouldn't be held to account for their actions? If some dude robs a liquor store or bashes some old lady over the head for her pension check, we need to be understanding. Prison is just such a horrible, negative environment. Let's just get rid of the prisons and let's put them in a spa forever. Let's pay everything. We'll give them foot rubs and saunas, and we'll just give them the life they never had, and we'll make their lives so good that they'll have to turn around and become productive members of society because they're getting the love and affection and attention and support they never got as children. Oh, my fifis are making me feel so good. Ooh. As I spend other people's money. But not my own, of course, because leftists are the least charitable people on the fucking planet when it comes to their own money. But your money, ooh, open up the wallet, says Bernie. Open up your wallet, that is, not mine. You can't spend my money, but I can spend yours ad fucking infinitum. Pinheads. Oh, my God. So ridiculous. Yeah. The change in the service structure has been quite dramatic. Service structure. What are you, Walmart? Service structure. In 2008, there were almost 600 beds in shelters and hostels in Helsinki. Now there's only one permanent service center for emergency accommodation with 52 beds. In wintertime, extra temporary accommodation is provided if needed. This is going to backfire. This is going to backfire, okay? And don't tell me this is cheaper, because that's bullshit. All right, an important lesson we have learned during the last 10 years is that you can't have housing first without actually having housing first. This means providing independent, permanent rental permanent rental flat. How is it rental if it's permanent? I'm going to move in. Where's the lease? Sign here. What's the rent? 0. It's permanent. Yeah, but it's a rental flat. But I'm paying no rent, and it's permanent. How is it rental? It's crazy. Permanent rental flats unconditionally. Providing independent permanent rental flats unconditionally? What is this, Star Trek? What are we, in the 24th century? What do we got, replicators? We can just push a button, and we've got this big giant replicator, and it can replicate a building out of energy and create matter like that. Even though it would take the entirety of the Earth's fucking energy output just to make a Twinkie. Make a Twinkie. Hit the button. Brrr, sucked all the energy out of the planet for an entire day. You still probably couldn't make a fucking Twinkie. Oh, we've got the technology to fucking replicate buildings like that. Oh, no, we don't. So how the fuck you paying for this shit? Permanent? So there's no risk of losing your house. So if you want to be a lazy sloth who feels like doing nothing all day, and you've got this... It's not like you're dealing with people who have been highly productive in society until now, and they've got some kind of proven track record, and you know that if you help them, they're going to get back on their feet. Odds are, they have the horrible track record. I don't get this. These leftists, these liberal idiots think there's some kind of magic dirt or magic air or magic environment that is going to magically transform people into productive citizens and members of society who are productive. They're lazy. They're lazy schlubs who sit around all day and drink booze. Shop around at the local fucking liquor stores for the best price on a bottle of Thunderbird, cheap wine, essentially. These winos, these bums. That's their life, a lot of these fucking people. Either that or finding out where the closest place is so I can get some free needles so I can shoot up, consequence-free, in my new free permanent apartment. You're just going to have a bunch of lazy bums sitting around in apartments, doing nothing, getting drunk, getting high, instead of in a homeless shelter. I don't get it. You're not fixing anything. All right. Most homeless people prefer an independent flat. Yeah, I would prefer to own a Lamborghini to taking the bus or the fucking subway. You know what I do? I take the subway because my preferences do not play into things. I mean, they do if I want to fucking work hard enough to get them. It's also important to provide different housing alternatives. What does that mean? Gobbledygook language. Why is it important to provide different housing alternatives? Who are you? You're a lazy bum. I'm incentivizing you to be a lazy bum. You get alternatives when you get off your ass and work for a living, motherfucker, and earn your keep. Most homeless people prefer an independent flat. Others prefer living in their own rental flats in a more communal structure with in-house support. This may be because they fear the isolation and loneliness of scattered housing, or their support needs are intensive. In recent years, Finland has been one of the few countries where homelessness has decreased. Recent years, yeah. They haven't spent enough of their money yet to go bankrupt, go broke to the point where they have to end this program. They're a rich country. They actually, in many ways, are more of a free market than America. That's the reason that they can afford this stuff. So there's multiple reasons. First of all, they actually have less regulation. They're more of a free market country than America. People don't realize that. Yes, they spend a little more on welfare programs than America, but they're a larger free market country, much smaller population, very homogenous, very productive. And get this. Need more coffee. Oh, yeah. They have no military. They have virtually no military. That's very easy when you don't have a military to pay for to take that spending that would have been military spending, and just divert that into welfare. Oh, sure, yeah, well, it's easy to, fund this shit, or easier when you have no military, right? Yeah, well, sure. But you're just incentivizing it, and it's going to increase. Oh, homelessness is decreased. Imagine that. You give people free houses, and there's less homeless people. Yeah. Funny how that works. Homelessness has decreased because we are giving all the homeless people free housing. So it's a success. Until you run out of other people's money. The Finnish success has been explained by this national strategy targeting the most vulnerable. Finnish success as a country, again, more free market, less regulation, no substantial military spending. Long-term homeless people. Even more important has been the way in which PAVO was nationally implemented. Coordinated. It's a success because there's less homeless people, not because you're spending less money. You're actually spending much more money. Yeah, spending much more money, incentivizing people to be lazy and unproductive. But we measure success by how many people are on the street or not on the street. Of course you do. It pays your salary. You bureaucratic pinheads. So, yes, these programs have been carried out in wide partnerships between ministries, cities, and civil society groups, local and federal level governmental agencies, I see. but all government and all taxpayer dollars. The work is carried out together according to mutual agreements and plans with shared financial responsibility of the state and cities, as I just said. Yeah, it's all government money. It's all tax dollars. You're just stealing money from protected people. I know what's going to happen here. It's going to incentivize, I don't like my job. My boss is a dickhead. Well, the government just implemented free housing. If you're homeless, they'll give you an apartment. You mean I can sit around all day and play my guitar and Psycho or whatever fucking 90s video games are playing in Finland? I don't know. It's a developed country. Maybe I'm thinking of fucking Czech Republic or some shit or one of these other Eastern Bloc countries. Okay, so Finland, very advanced. All right. They've got very advanced video games. Whatever. I can sit around playing video games all day and my guitar and play with my dog and have all this free time to be an artist. Loser. Unproductive person. And fulfill Marx's dream of half the population living sucking off the marrow of the other half who are working. Wow, where do I sign up? You just have to quit your job. Okay. Who's not going to sign up for that? Oh, yeah, geez, I quit my job. I'm going to get a free house and a whole bunch of other welfare programs permanently? How do they think this is not going to create a permanent underclass? Who doesn't want to work? An ever-growing underclass that's just going to reduce the number of productive people while at the same time increasing the number of people who need money from the ever-decreasing number of people who are actually producing. That's unsustainable! Unsustainable! In 10 years, over 7,290 homes have been provided for homeless people. What? Oh my God. Sounds expensive. All possible channels have been used. Scattered By the way, doesn't this remove a hell of a lot of real estate from the market? I mean, real estate's big business. It's a part of a market economy. There's a whole bunch of moving parts in a market economy, and housing is one of them. So essentially, you've taken 7,290 homes out of the private housing market that productive people could live in and just given them away to people who are not working. Brilliant! All possible channels have been used. Rental flats from social housing and new supported housing flats built on renovated in-housing units. Blah, 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 blah. The role of affordable social housing. Affordable is right, it's free. You can't get more affordable than that. Has been crucial as this housing stock is also the most important structural measure of homelessness prevention. Uh-huh. Why is it free? Why is it free and permanent and permanently free? Why don't you have a time limit? Why don't you say within X amount of months you don't have a job, you're out on your ass? What is this guarantee of permanent fucking housing? It's so retarded. I'm going to give you food, rent, electricity, internet, forever. Why am I working? I work to provide these things for myself so I don't live in a fucking cave or sleep in a box behind Tesco, okay? That's why I work, so I don't have to do those things. If I don't have to do those things without working, why the fuck would I work? This is absurd. In 1987, there were 1,370 homeless families and 17,100 single homeless persons in Finland. Compare that to the latest tally. Only 214 families are homeless and 6,600 people, single people, homeless, of which 5,528 are living temporarily with friends or relatives. We can't be sure that the numbers will continue to go down. You can be sure they'll continue to go down so long as you keep giving people free houses, you idiots. All for the taxpayers' sweat and tears and blood. But we know that it is possible with continuous determined work to get it to zero. Yeah, let's just get rid of prisons too. And let's get rid of debt. No consequences for your actions. Want to spend money and never be held to task? Never want to have to worry about creditors calling you on the phone? Even though you have racked up $1 million in credit card debt and your maximum limit was $5,000. Well, fear not. The government's going to come in and pay all your debts. I could just keep spending. I don't have to become responsible. I don't have to become responsible or be responsible ever. What happened to suffering the negative consequences of your actions? I would think that the fear of being homeless would be a good motivator to get your ass to work and be productive. You know, the road to hell was paved with good intentions. I know that these liberal pinheads, they have good intentions. But really, they don't. They think they do, but they don't, okay? Their good intentions are really self-serving. It's all about feeding their bleeding heart, right? It's all about the fee-fees, okay? I've talked about this before, about how these people are essentially addicted to the good feelings that come from helping people. And they're not smart enough. They lack the critical thinking skills. They lack the ability to use logic and reason, and they don't have very much common sense. They don't have enough to really realize. They don't have enough of these skills to realize that what they're doing is actually not helping these people at all, but hurting them. You take a homeless dude who's just got no motivation and wants to sit around all day and strum his guitar and put his guitar on the ground and live off whatever spare change he can get. And he's able to do this because, you give him a homeless shelter to sleep in, and you give him 3 meals a day. And yeah, it's not the most ideal existence. There are better options, but he's happy with that. Now, what if he didn't have that? What if he had no homeless shelter? What if he had no bleeding heart liberal pinhead giving him 3 meals a day? He'd have to get a job. He'd have no choice because his lazy ass would starve to death. But you've given him choices now. You've enabled his laziness, his slothfulness. So, of course, he's not going to improve his situation. And the improving of his situation proves yours too, you pinhead, because he gets a job. He becomes more productive. He contributes to society. And because of his contribution and the contribution of tens of thousands of others who were prior lazy sloths who have now been incentivized to work, all of their efforts contributing to society improve everyone's lives. But no! we need this permanent underclass of leeches who need us so we can feed ourselves. We can get our fix, our feel-good fix, our fee-fee fix. That's what that really is. This is about creating a cottage industry centered around the suffering of people who really don't need to suffer. And they're being enabled to continue to suffer and live subpar quality lives by these leeches, these parasites, who essentially use their suffering and the excuse of their suffering that they've created to help these people and in turn get their fix, get their feel-good fix. It's just, you talk about compassion being a good thing? No. The truth is compassion is very rarely a good thing. Sometimes it's a good thing, but in most cases, it's bad, okay? Bad. All right, that's about it for this show. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and please like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy the truthfulness of my words, my red-pilled, real, raw presentation of the real world. Please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, and also maybe making a donation, perhaps, which you can do by going to therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That's therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That's my website. All the links to all my content are there. And, of course, you can also donate. And as I said at the start of the show, I'm getting a subscribe star count started for those of you who hate Patreon. But if you have no problem with Patreon, I have 2 Patreons, one for once a month and once for per piece. I put 3 pieces a month on The Realist Philosopher Patreon, so you want to donate $1 per piece, that'd be like $12 a month, or you could donate $5, $6 a month to Realist Philosopher. That's my second Patreon, and that would be just once a month. But again, I'll be starting a subscribe star soon, so that's a moot point if you hate Patreon and have no intention of ever donating to people who use it. And I honestly can't blame you. Also, consider following me on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Magus Reason on Facebook, The Realist Philosopher on Twitter. I'm also on Gab and Instagram. You'll find all these links in the description. And yeah, I guess that's it. I will see you tomorrow, same time, 10 to 11 a.m., New York City time. And I wish you a good day or night, depending on wherever the hell you are. So I'm The Realist Philosopher. I wish you well. Take care.